Wednesday night in Tryon, North Carolina. It's been a pretty nice day. Sun's been out. It's been cool, but very, very nice. And when I say cool, still balmy for December. It's been in the high 50s, lower 60s. And now we're expecting by Thursday or Friday to see weather in the evening down in the teens with a wind chill of 0. So that we have to look forward to. But it's still been incredibly nice the last couple of days, considering that it is December and the weather has been unseasonably warm. We're looking at spiritual warfare, and we've been looking at the causes of spiritual warfare. But the bottom line is that the sin that comes out of spiritual warfare can only come from self. And we've been looking at ways to win if self is the one that's in control of all of this. We've been looking at walking with God. We've been looking at using His Word, which we put in our head and our hearts. And we've been looking at ways to avoid even temptation by people, places, and the power that we're trying to trust in. So let me just share with you some statistics that you'll wonder where I'm going. In the 18th century, Jack Sheppard escaped 4 times from prison. In the 19th century, 109 Civil War Union POWs escaped in one single night, 50 of them making it all the way back to the Union lines. On March the 3rd, in 1934, John Dillinger escaped from prison in Crown Point, Indiana, which was said to be one of the most secure prisons that they could put Dillinger in, but he escaped nevertheless. The Japanese murderer actually escaped 4 times from prison. During World War II, in supposedly Colditz Castle, an escape-proof place for World War II prisoners, 130 got out in a single night. And then one of the famous ones that you've either seen on TV or read about or heard about is The Great Escape. 76 Allied POWs in Stalag Luft III during World War II escaped. However, out of the 76, only 2 made it back to neutral territory. And then this Great Escape of Alcatraz, supposedly the most escape-proof prison in the United States. 3 men went through air ducts and used rafts and were never heard from again. And the FBI still doesn't know if they drowned in their attempt or whether they truly made the full escape. And then Mexican drug lord, which I'm sure we remember probably being on the news, El Chapo, on July 11th, escaped from a high security prison and wasn't recaptured until January the 8th. That's about 7 months later. So some great escapes from prison. But I want you to know that those of us that struggle with spiritual warfare, those of us that understand temptation, there's a wonderful promise in 1 Corinthians 10:13. No temptation has overtaken you, but such as is common to man. That means I can't say that I've been tempted as nobody else has ever been tempted. All temptations are common to man. But God is faithful, who will not tempt you beyond what you're able. So we don't have any excuse. We said we can be tempted by Satan, we can be tempted by others, but final decision is ours. And God's promises He'll never tempt us above what we're able to handle. Now listen, here's the important part. But with the temptation will provide a way of escape also. Now, we're not talking about getting out for 7 months. We're not talking about getting out for a day. We're talking about a way of escape from that temptation which God has made for us so that we'll be able to endure it. So when we're going through spiritual warfare and we're tempted and it comes down to our decisions, God's told us not only to use his word and not only to walk with him, but he's told us to look for the way of escape because he's provided it. And to remind ourselves that he will not tempt us above that which we're able. Now allow us to be tempted above that which we're able. And all we've got to do is look around for the way of escape. You know, I think we have a great God, a God that says he'll protect us to the fact that he'll never allow us to be tempted above that which we're able. And that with every temptation that comes across our path, he'll always make a way of escape so that we'll be able to endure it. And all we got to do is look for that way. All we've got to do is be sensitive to the way of escape. That's your thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.